Alright, what is going on, people of the internet, and welcome back to the episode of Ark Survival Evolved Max Speed. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Direwolf Post-TLC patch. So, a little while ago, Ark changed all their creatures so that they were going to be a bit slower. They nerfed how much speed all the creatures got, which rendered all of the previous dinosaurs that we looked at in Max Speed useless, hence why we were doing Max Speed 2.0. But a couple of creatures went a little bit further than that, and one was the Direwolf. Now, the Direwolf did not look anything like this before. It looked completely different. Recently, though, they changed up a lot of the old creatures. Direwolf was one of the ones that I was most excited for. As you can see, this is completely different than all the Direwolves we've ever had in Ark, and I think it looks really, really good. Along with the model update, in order to make it look a little bit better, I think that maybe they got the colors a bit off, but that's about it. They added a couple of new buffs to the Direwolf. None directly benefit it in combat or anything, but there's a new feature that the Direwolf has where if you're riding around on it, it has a passive that allows it to see targets that are at less than 50% health through walls and other things. So you'll see here as I'm walking around, the animation looks very, very nice, and I think that it looks quite a bit better than the old Direwolf. You can't howl anymore as an individual wolf, but if you have a pack near you, you can activate that and become the pack leader. I think the pack leader is decided by level anyway, but you can howl and it will do some pretty cool stuff. So, as you can see here, when attacking this Megalosaurus, or Megaloceros, I should say, as soon as it reaches 50% health, we get a little bit of a broken health meter that shows just how in danger this thing is. And it's got a pretty decent range, you can see here. I get out of range a bit, but afterwards, after I sniff around a bit, which doesn't really seem to do anything, it's just kind of an animation, it comes back in range, and you can see that it's pulsing there. That indicating, obviously, where the injured animal is. As we bite it more and more, it gets further and further red, and starting out in the yellows, and then as soon as it dies, it's back to a clear white health symbol, indicating that there is a dead body nearby. So if you ever kill something and you want to harvest prime meat off of it, because you're in direct need of it for the tame that you're doing all the way on the other side of the map, the Direwolves can be perfect for hunting down that body that, well, we've all killed Dimorphodons, and we know that those bodies don't really stay in one place for too long. So the Direwolf would be perfect at tracking it down, which I think fits very nicely with the, well, what we already know about wolves in real life, that they're expert hunters and they have a very keen sense of smell. So, something that I didn't really understand, maybe it's a glitch, but as soon as a Direwolf knocks a creature down to 50% health, they seem to take no interest in the Direwolf anymore. They kind of just start ignoring it. So, for monitoring a fight like this one, where maybe you would not want to jump in on your wolf until you have a clear side to choose as to who would the victor be. So we can see here that the mammoth gets deep into red and then falls down dead when fighting these two other direwolves. It's a very nice little buff. I mean, you could already tell how low a creature was based on how much blood they were showing, but this is much more definitive evidence of how low a creature really is. So it's going to be perfect, rather than having a magnifying glass with you all the time in order to see what a creature's health is when you're trying to down it. The Direwolf will provide that on its own, and it will show you. As you can see, that Direwolf that's getting attacked over there is getting further and further into the orange and finally into the red before the mammoth finally downs it and kills it off. No point in sticking around here, we all know that that's going to finish. Now, the Direwolf gets 1.3% movement speed per level unimprinted. That will change, but of course I don't want to do that because a lot of servers tweak their imprinting, so I'd prefer to leave these things stock and not put any imprinting on the wolf. But you can see here, as soon as I get that Megaloceros down below half HP, it doesn't have any interest in running. I don't know if it cripples it and makes it so that it can't run anymore, but it really doesn't have any interest whatsoever in running away from the Direwolf, which is a bit bizarre, but I don't know. I don't think that's intended, and I don't think it's a very common glitch. I can't believe that other people would be having this, because there'd be a lot more outcry about it, and I really have no idea. So as you can see, the TLC Direwolf at max speed is very fast, and the Direwolf's long been one of the best adventuring creatures, but I honestly think this is probably a bit faster than what the previous Direwolf was even potentially putting out in terms of raw speed. So, you can see we have the two wolves here. Both were 150 perfect tamed out to 225, which is the best you're going to hope for with kibble and relatively high rates on taming. And in fact, you probably wouldn't even get that. You'd probably only get 224, but it doesn't matter. Speed is constant for all dinosaurs. You can't breed for better speed. You can't do anything. But as soon as we get that second wolf allied to this one, I'm able to right-click, and because I have the highest level, I can become the pack leader, which gives a buff to myself and this other wolf. On the TLC patch notes, they said it would be for 5 minutes, but for here, it was only a minute and a half, so I don't know if they decided that it needed to be changed that quickly or not, but it's a bit interesting, really. So, you can see there is a standard movement speed wolf behind me, and I am on the max movement speed one, and there is a significant difference. 1.3% movement speed doesn't sound like a lot, but it really stacks up if you put in 71 levels into it. Here I was thinking about testing if another wolf could cause that deer to stop running, but my test got a bit interrupted by these critters, and yeah, the direwolf still has a bit of a weakness to not having a saddle. And you can see, unfortunately, it might maybe die a lot. But the one we were on still is okay, and for some reason, again, these guys are on less than 50% HP, but they take absolutely no interest in my wolf. I'm still not totally sure why. They don't try to fight back, they don't try to run away, they just sort of exist. But that does provide the perfect test bed, because you can see here just the different shades that you're going to be looking at before eventually these wolves do die. All in all, I think that the Direwolf TLC patch was very favorable to it, and a lot of the old dinosaurs are getting a lot of the love that they previously didn't have, and I'm quite excited for Phase 2. We were supposed to do the max speed Spino, but that's not out yet, so we're doing the max speed Direwolf. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.